Mark told me, he said, Deb, I'm not turning on your microphone, so don't forget. Oh, I won't forget. Thank you, Patty, for saving me. And Lisa did too. So, hi. It's been 2 weeks. Can you believe it? I don't know how I managed without y'all. So now you can hear me. I knew Diana Wright would find out because that girl, she doesn't miss a trick. Diana, you're a smart girl, let me tell you. So I'm so glad to see you. I'm very, very happy to see you. And got lots to talk about today. In fact, I wanted to be organized. So I said, type out the things you have to talk about. And here we go. 2 pages. I think I've got a lot of talking to do. So, okay. Let me give a chance for everybody to get in. And I'm so tickled to see you. I was trying to work on one of the projects I did at the quilt show. And I told myself, don't get too absorbed, because just like I can be a little ditzy and get distracted, I can also hyper focus where I don't know anything that's going on around me. So I looked up and it was 8 minutes to 3 o'clock. I went, So I had to run upstairs and get some better glasses and get my, do you see my shamrock quilt? Because all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, next week is St. Patty's Day. So I thought, get your shamrock quilt out. I made that on a video a year ago. I said, I can't believe it has been over a year, and I'm going to start remembering certain things that I did last year to do. So let's see who is here. And let me do my traditional type in where I say hello to everyone. And it is so good to be back home. Okay. The machine I was sewing on in that one class was a Janome, and I have forgotten, it's like last year's model or this year's model. Very complicated. Had a computer that was much smarter than I am. Made me a little hesitant. The one thing, I think it was really wonderful that what happened is they bought a truckload of the Janomes. They used them for class specials and hoped to sell them to students taking the class. But you know me, I don't buy machines often. And usually when I do buy them, I fall in love with them. So it's hard to get a new one. I feel like I'm betraying the machine. But also, I didn't have the exact ones they were using. I had a class or store floor model, and I don't think it was all that great. But so I think that the Janomes, the other people's machines I were watching, seemed to work perfectly. They said they retailed for $5,000. They were selling them as a show special for $24.99. But you know me, I'm cheap as the day is long. But yep, my first new machine was a Janome I bought 20 years ago. I substitute taught for several weeks and saved my money and bought it thinking $289 was a lot of money. And it was my very first computerized machine. So that was a lot of fun. But I still have it. In fact, it's sitting on that table. Do you see underneath the pink flamingo, there's a sewing machine? That's my first brand new machine. Up until then, I had worked on machines that were given to me, or I bought for $25, or I bought used. So, and I'm hoping our Nadine's going to pop in here. Boy, is she doing a great job on her quilt. Unbelievable. And I'm curious, y'all let me know if my granddaughter pops in here. My daughter took my granddaughter, and they both went to Charlotte, which is 2 hours away, to see Pink last night. I mean, how wonderful. When I was 14, my mom didn't take me to see anybody. I was so excited for them. I got a phone call before the concert started. Charlotte got so excited. She just kept giggling. She didn't know what to say, but she's probably never been in such a big arena. I mean, it's funny. It was in the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, and her name is Charlotte. So I said, a queen's in the Queen City. But it was so cute just to talk to her. She just kept giggling. She was just all excited. So I thought that was wonderful. Oh, Lisa, the dripping water sound. Was that too much? That frustrated me. Let me tell you, I had to record that because I said nobody would believe this. And I'm hard of hearing. I mean, I'm almost half deaf. Okay, I'm between a third and a half deaf. If that woke me up in the middle of the night, kept me from sleeping, you know how loud that was. And I have asthma. So having a damp room because of this constant thunk, thunk, thunk dripping, I wasn't happy. I wasn't a happy camper by the time I left. And I know you should always, when something like that, when you have things that don't work in the room, you have to tell them to preserve your rights. But I didn't. But I was coming and going all the time. And I don't know about y'all. I'm a little weird. I don't want people coming in my room. And I bring all my personal stuff and I have it laid out just so. So I always, when I check into a room, I say, I want no maid service. And when I leave, I always leave it neat and tidy. They just have to do the normal stuff. But I just don't want people in my room when I'm not there. I'm weird, I guess. So let's see. So we've got Lisa and Diane 57 and Michelle. Oh, I'm so glad to see you, Michelle. I've thought of you so much lately, Michelle. And let's see who else. Kathleen Kendall, it's so good seeing you. Bonnie is here. Patty Chamberlain. Patty, give a big hug to your hubby, okay, from all of us. We're all thinking of him, so tell him we just asked about him. Let's see. Yes. If I will put the number of the Janome on the website. I did look it up and to see, was it really a $5,000 machine? I don't know what I would do with a $5,000 machine. I mean, I only paid $1,800 for my used long arm, so I wouldn't know what to do. In fact, my favorite machine I got off the Yahoo site, So It's For Sale, from a woman who barely used it. I mean, it was brand new looking. And she had started collecting vintage machines, so she said, I got to sell one of them. I'm selling this. I got it for $750, and I love it dearly. And I think it retailed for like $1,400. Deal. But I do love Janome's. For somebody looking for a really top-of-the-line machine, to half off the retail, that was good. So, oh, good, Patty. Thank you. So, let's see. Oh, Vicky is here. Yay, Vicky. But, a party for a 90-year-old next week. Isn't that wonderful? I just heard the other day my mother-in-law passed, but my mother-in-law had dementia. My mother-in-law has been absent for over 10 years. So she finally passed, and I think, that in those kind of cases, it's a relief for the entire family. I didn't go. That's just more than I could handle right now. And I like I say, actually, she's been gone for more, so far as not even knowing who people are. For like me, she wouldn't have known me 15 years ago almost. So, but anyway. Oh, Diane 57, you have a great deal. What a great deal. Now, you know who's not here is Diana W. And here I was giving her a compliment about how she didn't miss a thing. Oh, Patricia Fry, not in Myrtle Beach, visiting grandbabies in Maryland. What part of Maryland? I used to, for 21 years, I lived in the Leonardtown, Lexington Park area, down by the Chesapeake Bay. And so great for you. I tell you what, though, you're brave. I hate driving that corridor. I know anytime within the next 2-3 weeks, I've got to be going up not above DC and not quite to Baltimore. But that's a hike. And I tell you what, you have to get on that beltway, and it's scary. I mean, cars are whizzing by you, trucks are whizzing by you. And it's just like, nobody follows the rules. Nobody follows the speed limit. People cut right in front of you. They think 5 feet is the maximum you should leave between your car in front of you. And I'm sorry, 5 feet's not enough for me. Hi, Kathy Mitchell. Isn't it fun that we're all back together? It's just so nice. Newmarket. Okay, that's a little further north, I do believe. We used to love to go up to Frederick. And even into West Virginia, we used to go to Harper's Ferry. The kids loved Harper's Ferry. And they had a little cave on one of the streets off of Harper's Ferry. And my daughter was probably 8. And I said, oh, Katie, she was my adventuresome girl. I said, you should go out and see what's in that cave. Well, there were stinging nettles. The plant, nettles were up in that cave. And poor thing. So Vicki is cleaned off the car and steps. Oh, it's snowing, Kathleen. It's snowing in Maine. That's enough. You won't believe it. By 5 o'clock today, it's going to be 70 degrees here. What? No wonder all of our spring plants are all confused. Snowing where Vicki is, and Vicki's in Michigan, I believe. Snowing in, what is this weather? This is crazy. It's hard to believe that in 11 days, 10 days, it's going to be officially spring. So already turned to rain in Rhode Island. Good for you, Michelle. Thank goodness. Oh, wow. Frederick County. Yep. Oh, I loved it. I loved going to Harper's Ferry. They had a doll shop. So the girls, we'd pick up their Victorian dolls that they might get that year for Christmas, and just loved John Brown Museum and all that stuff. It was really interesting. Well, first thing I want to apologize. I asked Mark today if he would look at a couple of my videos, because I've been working real hard this week on my videos. I have to apologize. We watched the first one and the one I did last night. The sound on there was awful. And I am sorry. What I've been trying to do is somehow I get busy during the day, checking emails, doing my chores around the house. And see, I'm a nighttime person, so I don't really get going till 10 a.m. And then Mark's home before 5. That leaves, to me, that's a short period of time to get a lot of stuff done. And wow, your temperatures. Diana 57 in Texas says it's 70 plus. I believe it. But y'all, you poor thing, in the 30s. Where are you? You would love Harper's Ferry. It's as charming as it can be. It's a sweet little town with the little shops, and I don't think you have to spend any money. And see, when I was raising my kids, I was on such a tight budget. It was where could we go that we didn't have to spend money, let me tell you. So my little bird. Oh, hi, Sheila. I don't know if I know you. I almost brought Kiwi down because I know y'all enjoy seeing her. She's so attached to me since I was gone for a week that she wouldn't stand on her stand while I do the show. She'd want to be on me all the time. And it's really hard to have her on me and show you things. But next week, I promise, I'll work with her this week on staying on your stand when I need her to, so that I know she can be well behaved. But I mean, she has just been all over me, adoring me. Oh, you miss Kiwi. She is a great little bird. I have such fun with her. So thank you for asking, Sheila. Oh, Sheila, that's wonderful. You know, Sheila, we would love to have you on our Yahoo group. And in fact, you know what? Well, I do have one. Oh, both. Susan's here. Yay. Both of my moderators. Don't I sound important? I have a moderator. I have two. But Nadine is here. Nadine has been doing the most phenomenal job on a quilt. Was it a quilt for your father or brother? I think it is amazing. And I know that those of you on our Yahoo group, Sheila would like to join. You're Canadian. Wonderful. Mark was born in Windsor, Ontario. And we also have a Kathy who is from, where's the place? On the East Coast. Where is Kathy from? Oh, thank you, Susan, for typing that. The dog, Newfoundland area. Kathy's from the Newfoundland area. My teacher the first day, Cheryl C., and her last name is S-E-E. She was from Manitoba. So it's really exciting. And I said, I don't like thinking of y'all as international people. Y'all are right here, your cousins. So, but anyway, if you send... Susan's on the ball. If you send an email, Sheila, to that address, then I will send you an invitation. I have it as a private group because I don't want any troublemakers in the group. Not that we really had that much of a problem. And that way, you know, when you come there and talk, you're in a safe place. So, hi, Diana, right there you are. I was talking about you earlier. And I told him about how I have a hearing loss because Diana was so sweet. She was worried about me in the bingo video because I didn't seem to be responding to the letters and numbers called. And I told her, I said, what happened is I fast forwarded it like 1%. Normally I fast forward between 2 and 4, but I fast forwarded only 1, but I left the sound in. When you fast forward the video, the sound doesn't keep up, sadly. So usually I delete the sound and put in music or just have quiet. And so I left the sound in because I still wanted it to sound like bingo. And she said, you're not responding correctly. Were you okay? And I thought that was so sweet. So, anyway, oh, Bonnie, we have to get you back in. Yeah, we've got to. Even if you know what I can do, Diana, if you can't find how to get in, this is what you do. Send me an email and say, I can't get back in. What I will do is go into the group and I will boot you out. Not permanently, but just boot you out. Then you reapply and, or I'll reinvite you. If I have to boot you out, I'll reinvite you, and that way you'll be good. But I'm so excited to see all of you. So, I'll tell you the exciting thing first. I've been talking a lot to Diana right this week. Charlotte's here. Thank you for liking my necklace. How about this wonderful pen? This pen came from Miss Bonnie. I love this thing. To me, it is magical. It has all kinds of glittery magic powers. It's a fairy flamingo, and I love it. So, okay, Charlotte, tell us about Pink. Come on, darling. Give it to us. I already told everybody you went to see Pink with your mom last night, and that's so exciting. I mean, I thought Mark and I were saying, boy, our parents never did anything cool like that with us. So, Bonnie is a dear heart. And soon I'll get Nadine's package. Don't worry, Nadine. It takes a while. It took a while for you to get yours. Almost 2 weeks, I think. So Charlotte, thumbs up or thumbs down? How was that Pink concert? I mean, Pink is amazing. My daughters and I love strong women. And Pink is a strong woman. I bet you Charlotte's just typing away now. I wanted to call Charlotte today, but I didn't know what time they'd wake up. And then I had to get ready for the show. But, so anyway, while Charlotte's typing all this good stuff out. Oh, here we go. She flew above everyone in the crowd. Oh, wow. Oh, she's something else, I tell you. Oh, Jamie is him. Hi, Jamie. Charlotte, was that just the most exciting thing? I bet you felt like I've never been somewhere or seen anything like this. I mean, that must have been phenomenal. I'm so excited. Well, I tell Charlotte, be awfully good to Mama, because that was a special Mama to take you to your first concert like that. That's awesome, honey. She flew above. She is. She's powerful and she's amazing. Do y'all know where she got the nickname Pink? Oh, I'm so glad, Diane 57. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Pink got the nickname Pink because when she first started wanting to sing, she couldn't really get in clubs and places that she wanted to. So she ended up going into jazz clubs and blues clubs. Well, since most of the performers and patrons had what we term black skin, they nicknamed her Pink because she was pale and white, right? And so she loved that name and it stuck with her. And that's how she has the name Pink to this day. Oh, I'm glad you love your ladybug. I gave a choice of my homemade pin cushions to my teachers. And if you'll notice the video with Marianne Kupfel, she wears hers the entire day. And that just made me feel so good. So, yeah, isn't that a cool story, Bonnie? She was welcomed right in by the other people. And they just nicknamed her Pink, a Pink girl. So, Cindy Conway, hi, hon, how are you? I'm so glad to see you. Anybody who doesn't belong to our Yahoo group, we've got 29 members now. I'm very excited. In fact, our newest member is Pat. Oh, gosh, what was Pat's last name? Pat, she's in Maryland now, but she's normally from Myrtle Beach. Pat Fry, I think it's Pat Fry. She is our newest member. And then hopefully Sheila, I believe, is going to be a member. We'd love to have Cindy Conway. So a couple things. Oh, and here is my name tag. Yay, yay, yay. And see the pretty pin? This was the 30th year for the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Show. And in this, they have the cards for the classes you took, the lectures you went to see. So that's very special. And then I have my book. And with all the listings and stuff in it. But, one more thing while I finish. I apologize for the sound quality in the videos. It's abominable. And I didn't realize till I saw it on the big television, and then I could really get some distance away. So Mark's going to help me work on it. What I have been doing is I don't usually like to edit first thing in the day, and I'm usually busy doing other things and answering emails and stuff. So what I've been doing is I've been sitting on the couch at night with him, editing them and put in a little earbuds so he doesn't have to listen to that. Well, guess what? With my hearing loss, and Diana Wright, I went ahead and I was telling him about how sweet you were about the bingo and how I lost my hearing. But anyway, with my hearing in the earbuds, it's causing havoc. So what I need to do is I need to be able to work on editing without earbuds so I can actually hear and make sure that there's some continuity between sound, because it was either you couldn't hear anything or it was too loud or, I apologize. I will work hard on getting better at my videos. All right, so Melissa, I don't think Melissa might not be here. She's working today. And with taking time off, I have a feeling she's got a lot of work to catch up on. But how exciting that she got an ANOVA. And I asked her, are you going to get it right away? She said she has to take classes before she gets it. I doubt she's even got it. I'm hoping she'd let me know. But Anyway, she's so excited. And I'm so glad, you give advice and say, maybe if you want to get an ANOVA, you should go to this big show and that way you can try everything. It turned out to be really good advice and I was so happy. So, Deborah Donnell's here. Hello, sweetie. There's no such thing. Sheila wants to know about being proud. Sheila, you'll be number 30. Yeah, we should give a prize to number 30. I'll think on that. That would be fun. So, what was I going to say? Because Pat Fry was 29. But anyway, it was really good for her to go to the quilt show. She got to try everything. And I'm glad, even though she had the flat tires from hell. And poor thing, and every night I was taking her to meet the tow truck or to take her back when the car was ready. And I just felt so bad for her. So, all right. So I've got my booklet. I had a great time. I have a feeling I'm going to go back next year too. And so I'll talk more about that a little later, but that was fun. So the other, her and the tow truck both. The other interesting thing I was going to tell you. Yeah, that's true. And she wants to do it as a business. She's thinking ahead. She's a single mom. Her daughter's grown, but she's thinking ahead that what am I going to do in my retirement? All of that. So it's perfect. Now, I tried doing quilts for other people. I was horrible at it. Number one, I resented having to be at the frame. Instead of letting my muse say, I missed the frame, let me go quilt. That thing of having to be there didn't set well with me. I tended to start wanting to avoid the customer quilts. Hello, they deserve to have their quilt attended to right away. And then I would get so nervous and want to do so good that I ended up doing so bad. So I spent a lot of time ripping out. I said, okay, it doesn't work with me. It does not work with me. So I let other people who don't have the phobias I have. In fact, talking about phobias, this is the perfect lead in. Okay. Do you remember the segment of the video where I come down the escalator? The same escalator. I said, escalators. I'm like a little kid. I love escalators. Oh, y'all are so sweet. I love you all so much too. Well, when it came time to come down the escalator, I had a bag on this shoulder and a bag on this hand and my camera. So I had a bag on the shoulder, the camera, and this bag. And it meant I didn't have a hand to hold on to the escalator. Well, I thought, I can do that, right? I have panic attacks, but I haven't had, they were mostly because of my last marriage. I had them in my marriage. And they have just lessened to where I can't remember the last time I had a panic attack, right? But I know I tend to have a little bit of that problem. Now, I got to the top of the escalator, and for whatever reason, it panicked me. I was looking, and the stairs they came out round and then flattened out so fast. And it was like, they were so fast that I felt like I couldn't quite time it right. If I had grabbed onto the handrail, I don't think I would have panicked. So I'm standing at the top of the escalator, looking down, saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I thought, Deb, no, you're not going to let yourself do this. I'm not sure that a counselor would say good idea, but I thought, I don't want to become an old woman who's afraid of things. I fight that urge. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to give up on my love of life. So I looked down and I tried to time it. And finally I realized I'm going to draw notice standing here at the top of the escalator. I got to get down there. Luckily, nobody had come up behind me. So I just stepped out. And of course, I stepped half on one step and half on another. So what you don't see in the video was me going, whoa, and trying to grab the rail. I didn't fall. And then I tried to compose myself, and I enjoyed the rest of the way down. But I just thought I would tell you, if you ever have that episode, don't feel bad. You know, we change as we get older. I remember, oh, thank you, Charlotte. I grabbed and I've got pretty good balance still, but it did scare me for just a moment. If somebody was watching, they probably thought, oh my God. So, but I just wanted to tell you, as we get older, sometimes things scare us. We can push past that. And if you don't want to push past it, don't worry. Don't beat yourself up. But I just thought, come on, Deb, you can do it. I remember I used to water ski. And after I had my first child, I tried to water ski. And I got up fine. But I thought as I'm skiing, what am I doing? I don't want to be doing this. If I fall and break my leg, who's going to take care of my baby? So I know a lot of that's natural. Women, we become caretakers, especially when we have family and kids. And we just, like every time, if I'm in a hotel and I step out of the shower, I'm so careful. I don't want to fall. So I know that we get fears as we age, but I just thought I'd share that with you. So anyway. That was that. The good news is I met my first viewer. How cool was that? I put that episode on last night, so I don't know if you've seen it. And I'm hoping she'll stop by here sometime because, no more standing in chairs to change light bulbs. It's just not worth breaking a hip or breaking a shoulder or whatever. But I saw my first viewer. I don't know if you've seen the video, but you can hear in my voice, I'm like this little kid. I was so excited. And I was so excited. I gave her one of my homemade pin cushions. She might have thought, okay, that's weird. But I was just so excited. I was like, ah. So, I was excited because she said something about your, Our Time to Quilt channel. I said, how did you know about that? What an odd question. She's because I watch it. Oh, so I got very excited. And then I remembered, and then somebody else wrote on a message that they saw me at Mid-Atlantic. I was walking by filming or something, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I did notice people were kind of looking at me, but I thought, well, maybe that's just because I'm weird. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a tall girl and I'm a big girl. So, I'm used to kind of getting some looks. But in fact, I took the picture with Mari John and I thought, I dwarfed that poor girl. So, yay, Charlotte, 921 subscribers. We're doing it. So don't forget, give me what happens, I think I finally found out. The thumbs up you give me, the more thumbs up I get, the more my videos are put out by YouTube because they highlight videos. And so they highlight popular videos. So I'm excited. I'm thrilled. So I think I've talked enough about me. So we'll talk a little bit. Let's see. So I told you about the escalator. I'm reading my notes. And look, Bonnie, I put them on 16 in bold so I could actually see them. So it's hard when you get older and your eyes start going and your ears are gone. I finally had to break down and wear my hearing aids for my third class. No, I never for sure remembered her name. Something tells me it was Linda, but I'm not sure. And I tried when I edited the video. I tried looking at her name tag, but she was a lovely lady. What happened? I'll tell y'all. Is it? Oh, I did type February 10th. What kind of idiot am I? I'll fix that in the thing. Now, look, Sheila, we got another Hawkeye person here, another Eagle Eye. Thank you for telling me that. I will write a note down. I swear, you can't let me go out in public. You just can't. It's March 10th. I was so proud I spelled February so good. So, Charlotte, what song of Pink's did you like the best? You know, did seeing her perform live make it different with her songs? You had, oh, that's why you had trouble. Oh, don't cry, Cindy. Oh man, I don't think I can change it while I'm doing it, but I will fix that. I'm so sorry. The viewer's name is Annette. How did you look on her tag or what? Y'all are good. Nadine, I am in such awe of Nadine is doing a quilt. And Nadine, did you already say who you're doing it in honor of? And it is her version of Hotel California. Is absolutely beautiful. You read her name tag. Okay, so I'm going to have to go and when I'll type below her thing. I'm sorry, Annette, that I got your name wrong. So it's Annette. All right. Thank you. So, and Charlotte is my granddaughter. Mariella. Oh, that would be fun. That would be absolutely fun. We are going to, I don't know when, it might be a year from now, but we're going to get whoever can come to the Missouri Star Quilt Company and Angela Walters. We're going to have something where we all meet. And I'll find a good hotel and book of rooms that we can, you know, afford, that are affordable. I'll get us a discount, and whoever can come, we're going to have a reunion. We're going to have some fun there. So maybe next spring we'll do that. Wouldn't that be good? That way we have a chance, a year to save up for it and figure out how we're going to do it, okay? So maybe next April? I don't know if is that too close to Paducah for any of you? I've never been to Paducah. So, but anyway, so just put that, pencil that in on your calendar that we'll do a little Our Time to Quilt Chatters get together. That would be so much fun. We'll plan ahead. So next April, I think it would be good to go before it's too hot, before the rates go up. March or April, we'll figure it out. So we'll kind of get y'all to do a poll before then. So write it down. We'll start saving our money, because you know we've got to buy stuff. You can't go to Missouri Star and, in fact, Charlotte, I'm going to take you with me. So Charlotte, be planning. We'll figure out something that maybe, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that, so I don't have to take Charlotte out of school too much. And we'll hit the road, and that'll be so much fun. Yes, it will be a birthday present to you, Kathleen. I love it. All right, so I'm going to show you what I bought, because I'm very excited about what I bought. You probably already saw it in the video, but okay. I left the filming of, yes, there are 9 buildings at Missouri Star. Isn't that great? I left the filming to the last day. I'm sorry, I tend to do that. But I just had so much to do. And at nighttime, if I didn't have a lecture, then I went back to the room, ate dinner, tried to rest well, and took Melissa, poor thing, to get her truck, her car, truck, whatever. But anyway, so I filmed every quilt that I saw that I thought was part of the quilt show. When I got ready to leave, I saw some challenge quilts on the edges. I didn't start filming those again. I was worn out. I spent 2 hours filming every show quilt there. So I will try to get that video up. Maybe I'll start on it tonight. So, and that's the last. That's the last. You've seen everything with classes, lectures, hotel room, coming, going, coming. I wanted to save the quilts so they're by themselves, because it's a lot of them. I mean, it's at least 100. So, but anyway, so I walked around for 2 hours filming, and I thought, I haven't bought anything for myself. Gotta buy something. So I happened to see, I kind of walked around. You know, when you're tired, you're not really in the mood, you feel filled up. Just going, I felt like I don't need anything. This has been so wonderful. So Yeah, I wonder what the travel time is. The good thing is it's kind of in the middle of the country. But I'll be driving there. I'm not going to fly. I'm not going to pay money to fly, so I'll be driving. But anyway, I found this, and this of course is Northern Lights fabric. And this little shop, cute little old man and woman, and they had all jewel tone, bright, bold colors and panels. So I just fell in love with that. And then I was telling him, I know it's Northern Lights, but I'm going to do a series because I've always wanted to quilt in a series. There's a lot you can learn from doing that. And Mark loves NASA and outer space. And I don't know if I've ever shown you my God's Eye Nebula, but I really love doing those. And it's a good way to do embellishment, to do, hold on, I'll find my word, to do embellishment and to do thread painting. Then he said, well, we have some space fabric right over there. So I got a yard of that. So that was $20 and a couple cents. Then I was walking around and I saw, I have one down, but it's full. I love the baskets that are part of the free trade, the fair trade. The fair trade business where they get them from Ghana and different places. The women support their families making baskets, and they're guaranteed a fair price on them. So this one, now I've forgotten Madagascar? I don't know. But anyway, I saw this, and it's supposed to be one of those. I don't know for sure because the other free trades had a specific tag. But I love the leather supports on the bottom. This has a little, it's a plastic weave stuff. And it's got a little pocket inside and really well done handles. And I love these things. And I saw that for $30. And I think that's very reasonable. And it's big. I mean, let me show you. It's a couple feet wide by about 17 inches tall. So it's big, and I was very happy. So that's what I got. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, fair trade stores. I love that stuff. And it's about time. So, and women are lifting their families out of poverty by doing fair trade. So it's wonderful. Yeah, you use them for years. Every once in a while, I'll kind of mist them down with just plain water. But mine have all lasted. That's my third now. The other ones I have are the round ones from Africa. So, all right. Did you notice the quilt on the frame? Yeah, you could put a baby in it. Maybe if I don't want to say goodbye to my grandson once he's born, I'll hide him in that and bring him home. I think they'd track me down. So, and do you realize that her baby is due now? In 20 days. So, do you see what quilt I have behind me? Hey, watch it. This quilt's trying to sneak down. Hold on, guys. Get back up there. Okay. Now, the reason this was put back up is because it's doing it on purpose. All right. I have already shown this vintage quilt, but I went ahead and spent the money to have an official appraisal done on it. And I wanted to share with you what Miss Phyllis Twig Hatcher said about the appraisal. She's going to send me a written appraisal with an official picture. Her husband takes official pictures of all of them. And she's going to send me a written appraisal. But I have some information to tell you. Okay. The man who gave it to me thought it went somewhere between 1890 and 1910. And he was right. And the reason she said that you can date it is because the newest fabric is fabric like this on a black background. The reason that she can be so specific about that fabric, and here's another one, is because 1890, this fabric came out. They were finally able to do a good black with different colors in the background. So when that came out in 1890, it became very, very popular. And so she put it in. Now, she also told me that the backing was actually a very nice fabric. She said it is a woven plaid, meaning it wasn't printed. All the different color threads made a woven plaid. And she said that would have been expensive. So she put a nice backing on it. The binding was a folded over edge. So it's the backing that's folded over and tucked in the edge. Now, if you've ever wondered, well, it makes sense to just do a tucked over, take the backing and fold it around the front. It's not a good idea because this binding has worn horribly. It's only technically one layer, so it just doesn't wear as good. Oh, Charlotte, bye, sweetheart. Oh, and did Charlotte tell us her favorite song from... I'm not sure she told us her favorite song, but I'll find out and let you know. Bye, Charlotte. Take good care, sweetheart. So anyway, but these fabrics with the black background and the bright colors were the ones that told her. Now, the oldest fabric in this quilt, I told Diana Wright, I don't know if I told the rest of y'all, but the oldest fabric in this quilt is this paisley right here. And this paisley is Civil War fabric. So 1865, she says that the quilt has fabric from between 1865 and 1890 to 93. So I'm very excited. But you can see that the fabrics with the black in them, backgrounds, she was very, very pleased. And like little pink flowers. So I learned something with that. We found that the quilt never had any batting in it. It's foundation pieced. And that the different blocks, she used different things in different blocks. Here is the background fabric she used for this block. And it still has the pentucks in it. So I would assume with the pentucks, it was a woman's dress, and she used that as her foundation fabric. And she left the pentucks and everything. She left the hems in some of the foundation pieces. And there was one place where we found 5 layers of fabric. But not every block had 5 layers of fabric. So I said she truly did them one thing at a time. But like, I'm not sure what the foundation was here. It's a nice burgundy. Then she also told me that there was a fabric she liked in here, right here. This is called claret, like the wine. And it is that color. So, just to tell you, the quilt has zero financial worth. But emotionally, it is priceless. So I even offered if there was anything historical in it that she might want, but 1890s is not that rare. To me, it's precious. She asked me, why did the quilt mean something to me? And I said, because knowing that a woman from 120 years ago made this, took her time to, such little time that she had, and used everything she could find, dresses and stuff, and just started sewing. And she did say that the sewing and the quilting was done by a knowledgeable quilter. She did have talent. So anyway, I And it was all completely made by hand. So even though there were sewing machines, early sewing machines around that time, she didn't have one. So, or she didn't use it on this. So anyway, but I spent $50 to do the appraisal, and I'm happy I did because I know a little bit more about it. In fact, she said one of the fabrics, she said, this looks like Alamance, North Carolina. Alamance is Greensboro, my next door neighbor city. Now, I think they lived a little bit closer to the coast, but it's kind of neat to know that she could look at the fabric and kind of go, definitely North Carolina and, you know, somewhere close by. So I was really pleased. I love it. She told me do not wash it because it kind of bothers me. It's musty, probably because I do have asthma, but she told me she said, find a quilt rack and fold it so you see the prettiest sides and leave it out. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I told her I thought about framing it, but I'd have to cut it. I said, is there any sacrilege in cutting it? And she said, no. She said, if it had historical value, she did like the fact that the furrows were laid on diagonal. And we noticed, ooh, this is something interesting to tell you. On her quilting, she had diagonal stripes coming across the quilt, and all of a sudden, she changed, whoops, hold on. All of a sudden, she would change directions and quilting. And usually it happens in the corner. So that was fascinating. She was really curious about that. So anyway, all right. So I showed you that. All right, what were the benefits? My puppy wants to be on the show. Gromit, is he walking around? Oh, he's back under my desk. Exactly, Diana. That's how I felt. It's priceless knowing a woman took time to make that, did it by hand, and it's just wonderful. So what did I was going to talk to you about what are the benefits of going to the show? What did I see, what I learned, who I met, the fact of just getting out. Okay, one day we had an hour for lunch every day of the class, and one day I just went out and sat in a comfortable chair, and I saw a woman, and she was really dressed, really neat, and very artistically, and I thought, oh, she looks cool. I gave her a big smile. She came right on over and sat down. You remembered his name, Gromit, yes. And yes, I think I will take it outside. And somebody talked about putting tulle over it, organza, and vacuuming it. I might just do that too. It was neat. It was the first time I've laid it fully out to see. And it's 74 inches square. So we measured it and everything. And the blocks, now this is what's funny. The pattern matches beautifully, but each block is different. The blocks range from 12 inches to 13 and a half. This is a woman who quilts like I do. So I did get a lot of information. It was nice. She just sat with me and talked about it. And when I get the report and the photo, I'll show you those. And so anyway, so the benefit for me of going to a quilt show is I get out. I see new things, new ideas. Now, I do get a little depressed, I have to be honest. When I look at the quality of the quilts in the show, it makes me just a little sad. I've lost my eyeglass thing. It makes me a little sad because I always thought I wanted to enter and win a ribbon at a quilt show. Well, that's not realistic because you know I'm an impatient quilter. I just don't take the time to make sure every star point shows and make sure every seam matches. I just love the whole process of, taking fabric and turning it into something new. So, there it was on my ear. Good job, y'all are good. I love y'all. I tell you, y'all are so much fun. Yeah, so I probably will end up airing it out really good and then laying it gently somewhere so we can actually enjoy it. So, but anyway, it's good for me to get out of my comfort zone. I see quilts and I realize I don't think I'll ever invent anything new. I like being spurred on by other people's ideas, and then I might carry it a little further. But some of the stuff you see there, I think, how do these people know? How did they even think about doing this? So that can make me a little sad. But then I'm thinking, I don't have to enter quilt shows to be happy. If I did, I would have to find a way. But I'm happy just going and doing. What I love most about quilt shows is taking the classes. I love taking the classes. If I learn just one thing, it's worth it for me. Getting out and watching other people. I love watching people. I love watching how their mind works. In fact, there was a woman that I showed her scallop making because I heard the teacher say, you had the most perfect scallops. Same teacher who just told me my scallops were a little flat. But I went over and filmed her, and sure enough, they were gorgeous. And that's her gift. I mean, it was beautiful. So it was just wonderful. Oh, and I told you too, I was sitting in this comfortable chair, and this woman walks up, and she makes quilt-inspired clothing. So that's why she looks so sharp and so artistic. And I had the best time just sitting and talking to her. And, you know, if you think about, you and I, all of you, we haven't known each other that long, but I feel like you're my friends because even Nadine, you'll admit this, quilters speak a common language, and it's fabric and it's joy. And so it's really, 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 we each have our own talents, exactly. So my scallops might not be perfectly even and rounded, but I'll find something real cool to put on the quilt that makes it just a Deb thing. So, you know, we go with this. I think I told you one time when I took a class, and a woman beside me was so precise, she was so far behind. But, I mean, she did everything. She would draw the diagonal lines, one piece of fabric at a time. And she just took her time. And I looked over at her and I said, you love the process, don't you? She said, yeah, I don't care when I finish it. If I don't finish it for a year, that's fine. I just love doing every step. And I asked her if she was an engineer, and she was. But that's the neatest thing is you get to see people of all different skill levels, of all different interests, and you can learn something from each of them. So I think if you can go to anything like that, going to a class is priceless. Get the interest that it spurs. You can almost feel your little brain cells pinging, you know, going, whoa, this is great. And so I think it's a wonderful thing. Even if you just go to the show and the vendors, you'll see some ideas you never thought about. You know, I thought that the whole Dahlia thing was kind of going out of by the wayside. I saw quite a bit of that when I was there. So there's a lot. So, but talking to other people, it's really good. I tend to be a homebody and kind of a loner, and so it's good for me to kind of push out of my, you know. Now, if we ever go somewhere, don't expect me to share a hotel room with you. I have to have my quiet time, plus a snore. But I have to have my quiet time in the evening. But it's good for me to socialize during the day. So now, how would you, like, if you're like me, you worry about your budget. And so I'm going to tell you the cost associated with attending the show. Each class I took, 2 classes were $65 each, and that's an all-day class. 1 class was $75. That was with Marjan Klupfel because she's an established teacher and author. There was a $20 registration fee, and that covers the pen they give you, the name tag, and all the paperwork. Then, if I had stayed at the hotel attached to the show, it would have been up to $170, $160 a night to stay there. So I thought, not doing it. So I did find the extended stay, And the room was clean. I do want to give them that. You noticed even in the tub when I showed the drain that had been damaged by the leak, the room was clean, and that was good. I might like to stay at a place just a touch nicer next time, but it was only the first night, 2 nights were $66 a night, and you can't beat that. Now, unfortunately, once Friday hit, it bumped up to $99 a night, which I think is ridiculous because I wouldn't have minded the faucet not working and the leaking if it had stayed at 66, but at 99, I expected a little more. So altogether, my hotel bill with taxes and all came up to $415. Then my other bill, I did a lecture at $20. So I think that came up to about 200. Well, let me see. Anybody, 65 and 65 is 130, and 75 would be 205, and 20 would be 225, and another 20. So about 245. Okay. So 245 for the classes and the registration and the lecture, and then $415 for the hotel. And if I had gone and stayed with somebody, then the hotel bill would be halved. But, like I tell you, I'm not good staying in the same room with somebody. So then class fees came up to $47. And that's one thing you have to look at. If there's a class you want to take, what do you have to buy to take it? Is there a kit fee? And I felt like these class fees were reasonable. So that's another $47. And then if you have to buy stuff for the supplies you're supposed to take, you have to add that on. My gas was about $50. I spent less than $20 on food because I brought everything from home. And Friday night, I went by KFC and got some chicken. Then I had 2 McDonald's lunches for going home and coming up. But I took all my own groceries. And what I do is I took a ham salad. It's a turkey ham and it's pasta. And I took that up and then some chicken and gravy and over rice. And that way I can just heat them up in the microwave. That's wonderful. And the ham salad I can eat cold, which is even better. The others I just heat up in the microwave. And I like that. After a full day of class, I'm tired. I don't feel like then coming home, getting freshened up and go back out and go sit in a restaurant and order and wait and all that. Some people love that, and that's wonderful. But I didn't want to spend that kind of money. Now, they did have lunch buffets there for $15, and from the menu, it sounded pretty fancy. If I were to do that, like, let's say I didn't want to stay in a hotel. I didn't stay in a hotel that had a refrigerator and a microwave. Then what I would do is plan to have the lunch buffet and then just eat a light sandwich for dinner. So treat the lunch buffet as my main meal of the day. Then you can stay in hotels that have free breakfast. That way you save on that. So this is kind of how I do it. I did spend $50 between the basket and the fabric. And that's up to you. It's what your budget will allow. We had just lost Mia and had vet bill and a few things like that. And I really didn't want to spend much money this time. But sometimes you'll find a good deal at a show, but sometimes they know people are so anxious to spend money at something like that and it's very tempting. I mean, it's great. You see stuff there. It's wonderful. One-stop shopping. So carry your own bottled water. Don't buy bottled water. It's just too expensive. What I would do is I'd put 2 bottles of water in the fridge every night, and then pop them in my backpack. Another thing, Melissa had a great soft wrist cuff that had a zipper in it, so you could carefully carry your money and your ID and all that and not worry about somebody stealing anything out of your backpack or your purse. I do not take purses to shows like that. It's just too risky. I've never had anything stolen there, but it's just too hard to keep up with. So I carry a little backpack, and I have little things hidden. Like my cash, I hid in a hard eyeglass case. Figured nobody's going to think of cash in there. But I take the things I need that way. So, and it just makes it light and easy. I'd pop it on my back and didn't have to worry. Now, she said, well, you can always turn the backpack so that the zippers are up against your back. But mine, each pocket has 2 zippers that come up. So what I did is I tied them together. And so anybody trying to get in them, I'd feel that. So, but, you know, like I say, I've never had anything stolen, but I get uncomfortable in large crowds. That's part of my phobia. I don't like crowds. So let's see. But I went through a lot of water, and it's a good thing. You forget to drink water when you go places like that, and that's not good for you at all. And also, don't forget to bring fruit, to bring roughage, or like Metamucil, fiber pills, because you'll need it. You're in a different situation, in a different environment. You're sitting more, and so you want to make sure everything's fine. All right. So another thing to save money, believe it or not, is make your plans to go to this early. I paid for this February class back in October. And one of the reasons I did that is because I pay that fee then. And then I have a few months to gather supplies I need for the classes. And it's a few months before I have to pay for the hotel. So I spread it out over 6 months rather than paying for it all at once. And that's just good for me. So let me see. Is there anything else? But raw fruits and vegetables, apples, anything that gives you roughage, good idea. All right. There's another thing, too. Oh, you like my cup? I drink ice water, and since I'm a diabetic, I drink water all day long. Once in a while, you'll catch me drinking a Coke. I'm not supposed to. I try to drink diet things. I just don't like the way they taste, but this ice water goes with me everywhere, and I can keep ice all day in this. So I think they're called like Big Bubba mugs or something. So, oh, thank you. Okay. Yes, you'll pay a lower price. Thank you, Susan. Very, very, very good. So, now, be careful if you're on a budget. Now, those of y'all who are rich, you don't have to follow any of this. But if you're on a budget like me, be careful of group buying, group thinking. I remember at something I went to at some point, they had these sewing machine lights that you could glue onto where they supposedly had sticky stuff, and you could stick them up under, and they were $40. Everybody went to buy them until they sold out. And I thought, $40, that's kind of a lot for a little LED strip. And I don't know if y'all remember, but one of my videos, I bought an LED strip for like $12. No, it was even less than $12. But one thing I found out, those sticky strips that come on them don't stay stuck. So you have to find another way anyway. Well, I didn't mind that with my little $10, lighted strip, but I'd mind it a lot with a $40 one. So be careful. It's real easy to get caught up and somebody goes, oh, look at this. Oh, that's a neat thing. Oh, that's new. I want that. I want that. And then everybody goes and spends that money. And then you get home and go, should I really have spent this? So just be aware, there is a little bit, you get into that group, and it does, like one of the teachers was selling spools of Aurifil thread for $3. And it's the small, thin ones. And that sounds really good. In fact, somebody beside me said, oh, for $3, that's great. I'm going to buy a bunch of them. Well, I looked at the spools, and instead of having 220 yards on them, it had 126 yards. So that's a half a spool. Now, I looked around on the internet real quick, and 220-yard spools are about $5. So the $3 was very reasonable. She was not charging too much at all. But it wasn't the best deal. It was a fair deal. And I could have racked up a lot of money if I thought, ooh, that's such a good deal, I'm going to buy a bunch, and didn't stop and do the research myself. But it was very fair, and it was very nice for her to offer them. But, it's not like getting it on a 40% off sale. So, and also don't feel like I have to buy it now. If I see it, I have to buy it now. Really stop and think about it. Can you find it? Teachers and vendors have online sites, almost all of them. And maybe it's worthwhile for you to look them up online And that way you don't have to buy it like today, but maybe you can buy it next paycheck or next, beginning of the month. So just little tiny things I wanted to tell you about. All right. So now I'll show you what I took in classes. And before I do this, I'll entice you with some fabric. But before I do this, I want to catch up on what you're saying. Judy, hello, sweetheart. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you very much. I do love taking you. Mark's like, do these people really like watching you drive? I said, well, try to keep it to a minimum. I said, but I think it's kind of fun for them to see what area of the country I live in. And maybe some people haven't gone through a tunnel. And so that's exciting. And I am budget friendly. And I don't want to... Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Mariella, I'm sorry you hurt your knee. Well, if you want to go to church, we don't want to hold you here. So, yep, and you dress comfortably to a class. At my retreat, we tell people, wear your pajamas to the daily retreat. So, yeah, I hope you feel better, Mariella, and please do not fall again, but have a good time at church. All right. And I'm just glad to see Lisa here today. How exciting is that? Now I'm hoping Annette will show up. Now that I know her name, I'm sorry I called her Linda. I just got so excited, A crossbody bag with the zipper inside. That's really good. When I had a chance one time to go to England and Italy, I made a little pouch, a little zippered pouch that I tucked in my bra. It was pinned to my bra, and I tucked it in there. I figured if they work that hard to get the money, they deserve it. So you love the car tours. I'm glad. I told Mark, I said, the woman from Germany seems to enjoy it. And I like showing her what our country looks like. I loved when I saw that, what was it, the Elbe River that you have there? Oh my gosh. So yeah, rollers. Oh my gosh. Yes. You can spend money like this. In fact, is Diana Wright still here? Because I just spent $23, but it was on sale. It was normally $40, so I was happy. But look who's here. Miss, I have an Innova. I mean, I'm sorry, but this girl, Melissa's too uptown for us now. Me and my $1,800 16-inch Janome stretched to a 16-inch long arm, and Melissa's got an Innova, and I mean up to the date Innova. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear y'all don't mind that the driving, because it's fun. I just really feel like I'm taking you with me, and it's nice because I'm not really traveling alone. I'm thinking of what would they like to see, what would they like to do. So. Oh, Melissa's going to still hang out downtown with us instead of uptown with, her other people that have fancy quilt frames. So, I love it, Diana. That's cute. So anyway, well, honey, we are so happy you got your Innova. So happy. And I'm just tickled I gave you the right advice to go to a quilt show, especially when you showed up and said, my tire flattened on the way here. And I had to, oh my gosh, I thought, what have I done to this poor woman? So I'm glad. All right. So it was a Hawaiian style reverse applique. And I thought, I can always, I want new skills for applique. So here it is. Now, I'm going to warn you, I did it wrong. And in a minute, I'll tell you why this is not my kind of thing. So, and you and Melissa, you won't get it till April sometime. Whew, that's got to be tough to wait. She says she's got to take classes on it and everything. So anyway, and I didn't realize until I read on our Yahoo site that Jamie Whalen was the guy who had his trailer stolen at Houston. So, I love it, Melissa. Well, you can come over and pet my little 16-inch, cobbled together quilt frame. So anyway, what she had us do When I went, I thought this was going to be my background and that this would be here it is right here. This is it right here. This is her pattern that she did. And her name is Cheryl C. And she's very talented. But isn't that charming? I thought, well, that'll be good because I knew that I wouldn't like just regular Hawaiian quilting. But anyway, but when I got there, I saw that if I used this as the foreground for the little town and trees, that anywhere it got to a tealish, turquoisey color, it would disappear. It, you know, like see right here, it's that edge, the definite edge would disappear. And I don't like that. I like to be able to see what I'm supposed to see. So I want all my edges very sharp and defined like hers is here. So I switched it around. And, you know, sometimes it's not easy for a girl like Deb to switch it around. But now, you see what I'm doing, what I'm working on? She had us take and fold the fabric into eighths. Fold it in half. Then fold that half in half. And then fold it in half again till you got like a long triangle. Press it really good. Then come and hand-baste stitch those lines so that everything was kept in perfect order. Number one problem for Deb. Mine didn't meet perfectly, and when I did my hand basting, I didn't want to take all day, so I just whipped it through, and maybe it wasn't as straight and perfect. So she wanted it perfect because you take out this pattern here, and this pattern is supposed to fit in that segment. Mine didn't fit good enough. She said you're allowed an eighth of an inch leeway. Eighth of an inch? How about a half an inch? No, it didn't work. So another thing I did wrong. Okay, so you put the other fabric on. You find something that you know you can remove the marking. See my scallops, but see how this one's awfully flat. Then this one does not define good enough. Yeah, that's a good one. But mine aren't perfect. They're not all the same size and everything. And then you notice how I've got all that blue fabric cut out so I can see what I'm doing? That's not the way she wanted us to do it. What she does is she only cuts a half an inch at a time, enough to get 3 stitches. Then cuts another half, 3 stitches, then another half. Honey, I can't do that. That would drive me nuts. I have to see what I'm doing. I'm claustrophobic, and I swear I think only cutting a half an inch at a time and you can't see any further ahead is what you're doing, that would just set me off. So I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to treasure it, but this is not the right kind of thing for me. Now, boy, look up her work. Cheryl, S-E-E-C. She is amazing. She's the one that was from Manitoba, Canada, and cool lady, wonderful teacher. It takes her 2 years to get a quilt ready to put in a show, and she's won them. I mean, she's won some shows, but I am not that kind of girl. So anyway, but I'm sure she was not happy to see me not following directions, but I just can't. That's why usually as a student, I sit in the back of the room. I'm a terrible student. And I'm a teacher. So what's that mean? I think it makes me more patient with people because I know I'm just such a bad student. So that was my first class. I'm very glad I took it. I like getting out of my comfort zone, but it's not me. I'll finish this one, and that's it. And it's always good to have a lap quilt, something to do by hand, especially during the winter and the long nights, especially when you don't want to sit at the sewing machine. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine you cut a half an inch, take 3 stitches? So, I don't have enough life left ahead. I mean, come on, daylight's burning. So then I took a class from my art quilt mentor, You know, I love Jenny Beyer because she got me back into quilting. And she's a traditional quilter, maybe with a twist, I'd say. Well, then I took her name, I have a hard time pronouncing it. She's from the Netherlands, Amsterdam area. And her name is their version, Dutch version, I guess you'd say, of Marianne. So she's like Marianne, and Kloopful is like, instead of hearing the clue, Kloopful or something like that. Dearest woman. If you ever get a chance, take her classes. She's so much fun. And there's her name, Marjan. And she's just amazing. And this is the quilt. I took this class. I was so excited. I went out and I wanted a piece of her hand-dyed fabric, which is like $22. And so I got that. I didn't realize all the background, see all this like fuzzy background? That's the piece of fabric she dyed. And that's what makes it so gorgeous. And of course, these are redwood trees. But I love the embellishment. See the specialty yarns that she put on there? So I got excited about this. Now, don't laugh. I didn't get very far. When your class is one day, you don't get that far. But here's what I've got so far. I picked out her blue fabric, but then I realized that you can't see the sky as such in between the trees that well. But I wanted the light top of the sky to give that kind of look. So it is a work in process. And you see the leaning tree? Well, you know I got to do it my Deb way. So my leaning tree is dead. See? Doesn't it look dead? I mean, it's losing bark and everything. It's getting kind of grungy. So I thought, well, if you've got a dead tree in the picture, then, hey, you know my dogwood tree that I had dye on me out front got killed by a falling tree? And this is too small. I've got to make a new one. But in the very front, and it's going to be like way in the foreground, I'm going to put a dogwood tree with some blooms on it. So you've got the dead tree, then you've got the new life shown by the dogwood blooms. So I cut this out in class, but I realized it's not quite big enough, I don't think. So anyway, and this is the Wonder Under. All right, so now that's 2 classes I've shown you. So, and I can't wait to work on these, but I had other things to do this week. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Oh, y'all are so sweet. But they get it. 2 years for one quilt. But when you do show quilts, that's what happens. All right. This is my 3rd class. This was by Miss Joyce Hughes, and she's from Philadelphia, and it was dimensional thread painting. And this class is where we use the Genomes. And that made it a little difficult for me because I couldn't quite get used to the machine. But this is a panel, a pre-printed panel. And she used this to teach us thread painting. And this I really wanted to learn because I'm more of a self-taught thread painter. I've read a few little things, but do you see this right here? This is the Angelina fibers. Those are those fibers that you get that are very shiny, and you put them in between Teflon sheets, and they fuse together. So this was the most expensive class kit fee because she had the backing ready for us, the batting ready for us, the pre-printed panel ready for us, and then a sheet of this Angelina fiber. And so what we were supposed to do, using 3 colors, we were supposed to quilt it down, okay? Well, I did the worst stitches in the whole world. Now, ladies, don't even try to make me feel better. It's okay. I know it. I'm going to be taking those puppies out. And somebody said, well, it's better to take them out from the back. Well, I used the same blue bobbin for everything on the back, so I wouldn't know what I was taking out. So I'm carefully taking them out from the front. But look at this. This is awful. And I trying to work with the machine, I didn't pay attention. She was doing beautiful air current type swirls. Her sky looked beautiful. I don't know what I was doing, but I've taken out a lot over here. But, I mean, is that pitiful? Look at that dark blue. So I'm not going to take out the gold ones and stuff. And the light, some of the light blue I'll take out, but I'm going to take out the dark blue. Then I'm going to come in with more of like she did, the swirly. Because I kept thinking, shouldn't I quilt along the lines? Look at this, right? Whoops, wait a minute. Yeah, see the lines of the air swirling? I kept thinking, why am I not, but I thought that's not what she wanted us to do, so I thought I was doing what she wanted. Then I learned some good things. I learned start with your lightest color first and then work progressively to the dark thread. I was doing it the opposite. And I got thinking, her threaded quilts are gorgeous. She uses a lot of panels and thread quilts over them. And I looked at her panels. People were saying, oh, well, her panels are only $7.50 a piece, which sounds really good. But you know what? It kind of bothers me to use a panel. Now, I'm not saying if you decide to use a panel, you shouldn't. I thought, to me, it's too much like paint by number. And when I paint, I want to paint what I want, not fill in where somebody else drew. So I didn't buy any of the panels. They had some really pretty ones, but I didn't buy any because I thought, no, I want the challenge of putting together a background, even if it's not as pretty as what her panels look like. This is a good way to learn thread painting, to already have a panel. And she taught me things like, I thought you had to do all your grass up and down like it grows. She does a zigzag stitch and then goes from side to side to side to side. And once I looked at it, I went, oh, yeah. Because honestly, from a distance, you don't see, unless it's tall weeds or something, you don't really see all the little up and downs. You just see that linear swath of color. She told us things. She told us like layering of different colors to give that full range. Use white when everything else is done so you don't overdo it. White has to be that little bit of sparkle, and you can't overdo it. So I like my tree trunk. I still have some work to do on it, but I like the way that she taught us to do it. And when she does the branches, she travels across because she said, honestly, when you put your other colors in, you'll never notice. But now she gave us, like I say, she gave us a very generous and nice, she did so much of the work to prepare for us. Then she gave us a couple other things. So here's the goodie bag. But she was very generous in her information. She's the one that had the spools because she has a very specific color she wanted people to use. I brought my thing of different color threads. I think I had to buy 5 of her spools because I could see where, oh, that color's not going to work. She gave us this bag of beads so that we can do bead work after we're done. The pearl ones will be for stones. The other ones can be highlights in the water. Isn't that sweet? Then she gave us this, and she said, this is a great overlay to do over your water. And she said, run the little glittery dots in the direction. If it's waterfall, point them down. If it's placid water, do horizontal. But she gave us a piece of this. Here's what I have left of the Angelina that I'm going to use in some of the water and some of the waterfalls. So she pressed a sheet of Angelina for each of us. I was very impressed. Then she also cut confetti. And confetti fabric is where you cut 1/4 inch or less pieces of green fabric. And there's all different shades that we can drop onto the tree when we're done all of our thread painting. We can drop it onto the tree. Then she gave us a dark green tool. You lay this over the confetti and you stitch around the outside edge of the tree and different places in between to give it a little definition. This holds the confetti in place. You don't have to use it, she said, but if you want to try, and I'm going to definitely do it because I want to see what kind of dimension. And I really haven't gotten into the tulle overlay as much. But isn't this neat? So, in fact, I've already put a piece, as you can see where it was cut out. I already put a piece up here. Whoops. Nope. Wait a minute. It's right. Yeah, right here. And it just gives a little sheen to it. That's really nice. So, and I've never made a sheet of Angelina fiber. I love how that gives the sky little sparkle. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but, and she taught us about outlining the rocks and how to do the water. And at the very end, taking the white thread and doing a little frothy look at the waterfall. So she gave us some really good. Now I had to add some of my up and down grass. You know me, I'm a hard head. Got to do it Deb's way. But most of it I did the back and forth zigzag. If we were not doing, like when we did the sky, we were doing straight stitch so we could do swirls. The rest of the time she had us doing a zigzag. And your feed dogs are down and you're moving back and forth. So you don't really see, you don't notice a zigzag, but it helps to fill in better. She was very careful to tell us do not overdo it. Like this grass. See the back and forth grass? It's actually done with a zigzag stitch. But it looks pretty much straight back and forth, but it gives a little bit more dimension. So I'm excited about finishing all these. I'm so glad I took every class. Even if I take a class and find out that's not for me, I haven't lost anything. I've learned that. But there, in every single class, there were skills to take away. So, yeah, I think the supplies that she supplied for this class were amazing. And, oh, and one thing to say, the Janome rep who was there helping us learn how to use the machines, she had all the bobbins wound for us. So you could have come with very little and everything was provided for you. So I thought that was really nice. And as you ran out of a brown bobbin, she came, give you another bobbin and give you any help. And let me tell you something. This is important. Thank goodness I did bring my machinigers because I don't like gloves. They make my hands feel like they can't breathe. You know, my hands are suffocating. When I would try not to use these, my hands would get so sore, my muscles trying to move the fabric. And these machinigers make all the difference. They allow your hand to relax. If your hands relax, your shoulders relax. If your shoulders relax, your back relaxes. So these were like $6 and something. If you're going to do any kind of free motion thread painting with your machine, please consider these. They are very worth it. Just look around for the best price. So let's see. So yeah, don't sew too heavily. Use stitches that mimic the sky and a zigzag. So I think I pretty much Marjan. She taught us about bobbin work, and a lot of times you'll have to hand wind your bobbins, and it takes a lot of bobbins. Because if you use decorative threads, they're thicker or bulkier. And if you're hand winding the bobbins, then that gets a little tougher. So, but both Marjan's and Joyce Hughes' class talked about bobbin work. And she, in fact, Joyce taught me something really interesting. So, let's say you're going to put use some mossy thread in these rocks. Well, the bobbin work, you have to sew upside down. So how do you find the area that you're supposed to sew in? She takes a really bright, bold color. Like if you're using all blues and greens, she uses red. And it can even be a thicker thread. And she, from the front, outlines the area that she wants to do bobbin work. So then when she turns it over, and the bobbin thread is the same color, or maybe it's the bobbin color that's the red, and she turns it over, and she can see, because of the color thread she's chosen, this is where I want to use the bobbin work, because you have to sew upside down. And that way you can take yarn, you can take all kinds of thicker things that won't fit through the eye of your needle and your tension gauges. You should wind them up in your bobbin, and when you sew upside down, it shows up on the front. So I thought that was really, really, really good. So, and just keep your arms and shoulders and back relaxed when you're doing bobbin or thread painting, because it's, it's a lot, and you might want to take breaks quite often. Some people had the glide sheets on their machines, and I just didn't want to spend $25 to $50 for one. So now let's see what you're saying. Yeah, and you know what? And that's the wonder and the beauty of all of this, because it's just for your enjoyment. It's to make you feel like you're learning something, you're becoming a better quilter, an artist. And art is always subjective. It's what makes you happy and what your eyes see and what your heart sees in the work you do. So is that Grommet or is that Blossom? That's Blossom. Hi, Blossom. That's my little Maltese / Shih Tzu. And Blossom's a good girl. She needs a bath today, and she's going to need trimming. So anyway, so what else are y'all saying? What brand? Oh, the gloves. They're called Machinagers. Here we go. They're called Machinagers. I like these because they're very lightweight. Quilter's Touch. And it's quilterstouch.com. Quilter's Touch with no apostrophe. Machinagers. And these, it has a chart in the back. I have very big hands, and I would use medium to large. I have very big hands. So they come from extra small, small, medium, medium large, and extra large. So soft, flexible fingertips. And they do have like the sticky, grab it. It's good stuff. But I like them because they're very lightweight and they're breathable, because my hands have to breathe. So and I'm medium to large. There's a hands chart on the back. So, all right. What other questions? Yep, they have a hand sizing on the back. And I liked them because they were cheap and they work really well. Now, some people, they have these kind of hoop kind of things that have like a stickiness that you put on the fabric, move around. But I really need to use my hands. But, there are options out there for other people. So that's the wonderful thing. So you're on your 5th pair, Diana. Wow. So, and they're wonderful. If you want to do free motion quilting, if you want to do thread painting, anything where you want to drop your feed dogs and have control over the quilt, they are amazing. And every time I thought, oh, I hate wearing these, and I'd pull them off, I didn't even get 5 minutes before my hands were cramping. So they're worth every penny. Yes, Diana Wright, I swear, she does not sleep. That woman is up all the time. And we found out we're both chatty Cathys. So can you imagine if we ever get together, y'all watch out. It'll just be. So we'll probably finish each other's sentences. All right. I think I've pretty much covered all of that. I'm trying to get a little cold, and I don't want to. In fact, I came home. Mark felt like he had an earache and was feeling snuffly. So I made some homemade chicken noodle soup. And it was so nice. Anytime I boil chicken for any reason, if I don't use all the broth, I put it in the freezer in little containers. So I pulled out some frozen chicken broth, homemade, and then used some chicken and celery and onions and cut up some baby carrots into nice bite-sized pieces. And I seasoned it with onion powder and some minced garlic and poultry seasoning and oregano and a touch of thyme, and cooked it. And then about 10 or 15 minutes before we were ready to eat, I dumped in some egg noodles. I didn't make my own noodles. Sorry, ladies. And I dumped in some egg noodles and then put some coarse pepper and seasoning salt. I think I added because it needed a little salt. And then made up a pan of cornbread. And y'all are going to think I am bad, but I love Jiffy Mix cornbread. But I put either oil or softened butter in it. I put sharp cheddar cheese and onion powder and chili powder in it. And it was so good. Mark and he always hates when I doctor it, but he ate. I thought, well, he won't eat a second piece, so I ate a third. And he kind of looked at me like, oh. So I had to get up real quick and go get him. I ate his piece, and he was wanting it. But we had the cornbread with that chicken soup, and he's feeling better. So I think there is magic in chicken soup. There is. I love Jiffy Mix. I don't like the cornbreads that are too gritty and are too dry or kind of bittery-ish, So it's what I like and makes me happy. I tell you what, if I want to make a really good one, I have a small cast iron skillet, and I'll pop that in the oven, 400-degree oven, take it out when it's real hot, quickly put a little pat of butter and a little touch of oil in it, and then pour my cornbread mix in it and pop it back in the oven. Oh, my God. It gives you that real crusty, crispy edge. Ooh, good. Oh, good, Bonnie. Sometimes, oh, good, because Mark thinks I'm like, I'm not fancy enough because I like Jiffy Mix. Every time he's gone out and bought Martha White or something else, I didn't like it. So, but isn't it nice sometimes to get a kit that has some pre-things done for you? I mean, I don't know. It's just sometimes we need to spoil ourselves. So I know I should be doing a landscape. And what I'm going to do is do a video of the landscape. And, oh my gosh, I've got a great idea for a new one. So see, I haven't even finished these others, and I'm already thinking ahead. But what I'll do is I'll do a video this week of the beach landscape that we're already working on. And then I'm going to add this other little one in just to kind of keep you enticed. So, yeah, I say I don't like gritty. And you know what I made the other day? Now, this will tell you I'm a Southern girl. I just wanted grits. So I cook up quick grits in the microwave. And I never measure anything. So sometimes I have to add a little bit more. Sometimes I have to add a little bit more water. And, of course, you got to put salt and a ton of butter. And then I love adding cheese. And mix it all up. And it's like, oh, my gosh. And I know it's not the best for my diabetes because it's carbs. But sometimes a girl just has to have some comfort food. So... Uh-oh, you lost the stream. I'm sorry, girlfriend. I miss seeing Melissa. She's so cool. She goes anywhere and makes herself right at home. I mean, she's never met a stranger. she handles things so well. She doesn't get panicky and, you know. So, yeah, in fact, when I was making the chicken noodle soup, I used a couple big breast pieces. And I said, but you know what? You got to have some chicken bone in it, some chicken skin to get the nutrients from all that. So I got a frozen piece of a thigh and put that in it too. And it gives that depth of flavor you can't get. I'm sorry, I know it's easy and convenient to get chicken breast, but they don't give you the range of flavor you need. So, oh yeah, I was talking about you, girlfriend, but I do miss her. She's a lot of fun and just was laid back. Oh, and Melissa, I don't know if I ever told you, but I did go see your Innova machine. I really like it. I really, really like it. Oh, Melissa's computer's acting up. Your boss put a little bot on there to mess you up if you came to talk to us. So, anyway. Well, I tell you, y'all are great. I'm going to leave here at 5 o'clock. My feet are freezing. It's supposed to get 70 today, but it has been cold and wet here. The kind that just works its way into your bones. Everybody see? I want to make sure anybody who didn't see it earlier sees my beautiful pelican pen this Miss Bonnie sent me. I love it. So all my fabrics and, oh my gosh, and Diana Wright said the cutest things for my grandbaby. I forgot to bring them down because I've got the guest room set up with all of my stuff so that the moment I get that phone call, I'm out of here. And I'll be going and seeing my new grandson. So I want to be there when he's born. So hopefully first time mom, I've got time to drive up there. I'll have to look at that. So, did who meet Val? That must have been for somebody else. Okay, I'll do a mini landscape. That's very easy. You'll be shocked. I tend to do more complicated things, but I said, Deb, do one that anybody can do, finish, and feel good about, and then move on. You know, I mean, you don't start too complicated. So I'm going to do that. I saw one. It was, I know what I saw. On my Nook, I got an offer for these $1.99 tour guide things, and it was the one for Tuscany. And the cover of that jacket, I went, I got to do that landscape. It's just beautiful. Colors are gorgeous. So I'll do that as a small one, something you can frame. So I will do that, Miss Bonnie. Oh my gosh, Susan. I'm so sorry you're having a winter storm. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I don't think I'll move any further north. I really don't. I don't want to go to Florida either, though. I was looking for a place that's absolutely perfect. It's always around 80 degrees, no mosquitoes, no terrible storms. Does a place like that exist? Oh, no, actually, I went by the booth and I was looking at it, but it was Sunday, probably around 1. And so I didn't see anybody to talk to them. But I wanted to make sure I saw your new baby. Susan, I'll let you know. We'll all move there, huh? Well, at one time I was looking in Colorado, and there was like this one little area about this big that seemed to have the perfect weather. But I don't know. So, a flower garden. Ooh, a flower garden quilt? Oh, that's good about Val. That sounds like she's a good person to know. Would it be boring? I've always said I would have a hard time leaving 4 distinct seasons. But with the crazy climate change, we're losing our fall and our spring. I don't know if y'all are noticing that. A flower garden landscape, that would be nice. You know what I saw at the quilt show? You'll get to see it on there. But it was 3D flowers. So like, let's say they bought fabric that had a big floral pattern. They used several yards and cut that same blossom maybe 4 or 5 or 6 times and then made petals that stood out. I really like that. Does anyone have any questions or problems they're having on any of their quilting? Anything I could answer for you? Give you tips on it? Oh. Yeah, it was really cool, Susan. If you love flowers, which I do, and especially like roses and peonies, it was absolutely gorgeous. So that I tucked that away on my bucket list. So I want to thank again our 2 moderators. Are they just the best? So Diane 57 keeps us safe. Susan keeps us extra social. So yeah, flower garden to hang up. So that way, if you really aren't up or your back's bothering you, you at least have your flowers. In fact, the pink tulips that my daughter gave me when I lost Mia, I took those with me, and I was really glad because they only lasted about a week, and I got to enjoy them. Oh, a cabbage rose. I love those big blazuni type flowers. And, you know, when they came up with these hybrid teas, they lost the aroma and they lost that big, joyful look to them. Bonnie, I'm going to leave too, so we'll leave together. But have a good evening, everybody. And I love you all. And I will get busy with some landscape videos. And I'll make sure I see you next week, okay? Oh, Vicki, so good seeing you again. Yes, I love roses. I don't like having to spray anything, but I love roses. I've got one of those new roses that are just foolproof. I've got it out front, and I just keep trimming it back, and it just keeps going. But they like chicken poop, so I got plenty of chicken poop. So I love seeing you all, your doll babies. And I'm trying to remember the name of them. They're the new ones that you just buy, and they bloom all season long. So y'all take good care. Oh, good job making kitchen curtains, hon. And I don't know if we got to say goodbye to Nadine. I know she has to get ready to go to work. We had daylight savings time, so I'm all off. But you know what? If Nadine doesn't have daylight savings time there, might be better for her. Patty, give that hubby a good hug, and we'll see you next week too, sweetie. All right, take good care. Y'all are the best. Mwah. Y'all are the very, very best, and I just love you to bits. I hope to see more of you now when I go to different places. That was so much fun. Take good care, guys. Good luck. Yep, and you can do anything. And don't forget, feed that soul. You're the only one that can do it. Take good care. Oh, Nadine changes time in 2 weeks. Okay, Nadine. Oh, it might hurt you if you move forward. We'll have to figure this out. Bye, sweethearts. Y'all have a good week. Have a good week. And I'll see if I can't get a couple more videos up for you this week. Bye-bye, guys. Mwah.